Welcome to a new Clash of the Horns, and the LA Rams take on the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round of the playoffs in LA. And what a way to get the Rams postseason started with taking on possibly one of the youngest, most talented defenses with a very young quarterback in Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. And the Rams have everyone healthy. So that's one good thing about this game, is the Rams have basically everyone healthy except Cooper Kupp, who's a significant part of this offense. But now the playoffs have begun. And every time we're talking about the playoffs, we're talking about the Rams. And the people that hate the Rams, the haters, the doubters, what are they going to say? One and done. And guess what? The Cowboys just ended up winning their first playoff game in a long time, and Dak Prescott's first playoff win. So Jared Goff still has no playoff wins, but for sure that's the key. That is, winning is the most important stat, was what Jared Goff said, and we have to win this game. Not only that, but the doubters, the haters for Sean McVay, they're talking about how he hasn't done anything. And yes, I am talking about Jason Whitlock's hating ass. The dude drinks non-stop haterade when it comes to Sean McVay. But Sean McVay's put his product out there. He's made the Rams a contender. But it is true. Sean McVay will have to win. And he has to win games he's supposed to win. And this is why. Well, this is one of them. Beating the Dallas Cowboys will mean a lot to the Rams. Will put them on the map and have people really worrying about the Rams as long as they win this game. And they have to keep going. They have this roster to do it. And I will talk about the reasons why the LA Rams will beat the Cowboys. So, rule number one, Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips is a defensive mastermind and genius. Even though the Rams struggle to stop the run, the Rams create a lot of turnovers, whether that's interceptions, forced fumbles, you name it. Block punts as well, but that's more of a special teams thing. The Rams have a phenomenal roster that is starting to gel good, especially in the end of the season, especially with Aqib Talib coming back, so that's a plus. Having your defense, basically the way that you shaped it in the offseason, it's all put together. And the Rams have every single guy on their defense, and they can make a lot of things happen because of the talent that they possess. Now, the way to beat the Cowboys is simple. You have to stop Zeke. You have to make the Cowboys one-dimensional, and you have to force Dak Prescott to beat you with his arm. And you have to make sure you crumble the pocket, doing so stopping the run, which the Rams have that talent to do so with Ndamukong Suh, Michael Brockers, who's more of a run-stopping defensive lineman, and Ndamukong Suh, who's more like a power pusher. He's more like a powerful brawler inside the defensive line. And then Aaron Donald is more of a finesse. He's more of a speedy but powerful, intelligent, and phenomenal defensive lineman. The best in the biz. Now the Rams linebackers have to step it up. That's why we can't just be one-dimensional as Aaron Donald creating all the pressures, creating all the sacks and all that stuff. You have to have Dante Fowler. You have to have Samson Ebukam off the edge, making a presence, making their name known. This is the way to do so in the playoffs. And that's one of the things I was hearing about Aqib Talib talking about, telling all the youngsters, is like, hey, if you guys want to be known in the NFL, if you guys want people to stop doubting you, you guys have to make your name known, your presence felt in the playoffs. And what a way to do so, by beating the Cowboys. And it's not like you're just beating the Cowboys. You're beating basically the most advertised team in the NFL, whether they deserve it or not. Their franchise history is very rich in the NFL. It's possibly one of the most richest franchises. Well, they are technically the richest franchise in the NFL, but when it comes to history, they are one of the most decorated NFL franchises. So if the Rams can beat the Cowboys in the playoffs, that puts the Rams in the map. That puts the Rams in from being one of the worst run franchises in the last 13 years to now, like, everyone's looking at the Rams like, man, these guys mean business. So we have to beat the Cowboys. But when you have a defensive core like the Rams do with everyone healthy, you have to make rule number one is stop Ezekiel Elliott. Don't let him get those 4 yards per carry. Don't allow him to get 2 rushes and they're already 3rd down and 2, because the Cowboys will eat you alive that way. They've done it to teams, and I've seen it many times. Thing about the Cowboys, if they have some injuries on the defensive line, so that allows the Rams to basically have an even chance of stopping the offense. One thing too that's hurting the Cowboys is their play calling. I've noticed a lot of the Cowboys fans, when I'm watching the games, is they hate the way that Scott Linehan calls plays. They don't like the way that they're not using Zeke Elliott in a certain fashion. I've noticed that in the game against the Seahawks, they did a lot of play action. They did a lot of screen passes, especially when the opposing defense gets a lot of blitz crazy. They do a good job of throwing screen passes to Zeke, and he'll get you for 20 yards that way, just like the way that we do with Gurley. But Gurley does it actually a little bit better. He has better vision than Zeke, in my opinion. But if we're able to give them those little plays like that for big yardages, a lot of check downs, that's also one thing. The Rams give a lot of yardage when they do check downs to the running back, and we can't allow that. We have to have man-to-man. We have to be right there with Zeke Elliott, because they'll get like 6 yards every check down, and it's annoying because I've seen Mark Barron give a lot of space to the running backs. Corey Littleton does the same thing. They give a lot of yardage, so we have to stop that. We have to stop giving in the little plays, and we have to make them one-dimensional and give Dak that deep throw, because he can't make those deep throws. I've seen it where Dak is basically overthrowing people. He's overthrowing Amari Cooper or Beasley. He's just not that accurate down the field, especially when you give him a hint of pressure. He'll think about running it more than anything. So we have to make sure we make them one-dimensional. Stopping Zeke is key number one. And I know everybody's talking about that, because that's true. Zeke Elliott can beat you, and he can make you hurt if he can give all day to run the ball and give him all the space he wants. So that's rule number one. Rule number two, you have to collapse the pocket. You have to find creative ways to create pressure and get after Dak Prescott. And I think they can do it, because Wade Phillips is smart. I've seen where they're in zone and they do all kinds of things with Aaron Donald and try to get him free because they notice that they're double teaming him, and maybe a good inside blitz by Corey Littleton, which has worked a lot, and also Mark Barron. They do a good job of blitzing. That's one thing I give credit to the Rams. Even though they struggle to stop the run at times, when they don't basically adjust, they don't make adjustments, and they'll get torched for 200 yards. And Rams will still end up winning games like that because they're scoring points. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about offensively, the Rams, what they have to do, and they have to do a lot of play action. Give C.J. Anderson, give Todd Gurley their carries, allow them to respect the run. But when I talk about offense, when I talk about these laser beams, these dimes that Jared Goff is throwing, it is because they do a great action of masquerading their plays. They do a lot of misdirection, and they do a lot of offense, which I call play action plays that go for 20 yards or further. That's Jared Goff's that's the best thing he does, which makes me very excited of having him as a quarterback, is when you go play action pass downfield. They have 2,000-yard receivers when it comes to Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods, and use them the right way. And with the secondary that the Cowboys have, they don't have the talent to cover all these weapons. They don't have the talent to cover Higbee and Everett and Josh Reynolds, who's becoming a fan favorite right now in the slot position and also on the outside. So I like how they kind of rotate him outside and inside with Robert Woods, but they don't have the talent to cover every single receiver, which is why the Rams are very good when it comes to throwing the football down the field and getting yards per game. I think they're second or third when it comes to yards per game. So the Rams are doing a good job of getting Todd Gurley his carries and C.J. Anderson. Also with the play action, there's always going to be a guy open because the routes that we run and the receivers that we have running those crisp routes, there's always going to be someone open. And I've seen it downfield for 20-plus yards like it's nothing. Jared Goff is a really good throw over the football, but we do have to give him the adequate protection that he needs to do so, just like every other pocket passer. And I've seen him, he has moves too inside the pocket, but when the pocket collapses, when they're being forced to rush the football and they hurry him, it doesn't look good. And that's what we were seeing with the Denver Broncos. His first bad game, I've noticed. Even though we didn't win that game, we relied a lot on Todd Gurley and throwing him the ball and having him run the ball down the field for like 200 yards. When you get after Jared, he will crack, and I've seen it countless times. I've seen it against the Eagles. I've seen it, especially against the Eagles. That was embarrassing. That game. I was like, I'm not gonna watch that game. That was terrible. But then he played against the Chicago Bears, and he threw for 3 interceptions. And Chicago is really good after getting after the quarterback, and I've seen him throw an interception against the Saints. So when he gets touched, when he gets hit, when he gets forced to throw the ball faster than he wants to, he makes mistakes just like every other quarterback does. And he's very young, and sometimes he gets a little too aggressive downfield and he tries to force things that aren't there. So Jared Goff's rule number 1 is no interceptions, no turnovers, not fumbling, no, his small hands on that football. They have to be adequately gripping the football so he can throw it down the field, because I've seen it time and time again where he's fumbling the ball or he's making dumb plays because he's being pressured to do so. So we got to give him adequate protection, which is why I'm very interested in the way that Rob Havenstein is going to go against Lawrence, the defensive end for the Cowboys, and see how he can pick up blitzes from Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, because they will blitz him. They have the blueprint to stop Jared Goff, and that is to blitz heavy, especially on the weaker side of the offensive line, which is Rob Havenstein and Austin Blythe. And then Andrew Whitworth's getting a little older in age, so he might be a little slower. But he can give you those much-needed protection to stop the blitz. And also, if we can call the screen from here and there, we can get after the Cowboys, because I've seen it where Seattle will call a screen pass and they will get 20-plus yards because they're very, very blitz happy when it comes to the Cowboys defense. And we already know Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, that's a bad duo linebacker core. So if we want to get past those guys, I've seen them bite on play action. They do bite a lot on the play action, which is something that I want to see. But if McVay does everything in his power to be vanilla in his play calling, like, dude, you're out there, you're calling plays, and you better call the plays that you've been calling all season. I don't want to see all this other stuff I haven't seen all year. If you're going to call something, be confident in your play calling, and it's something that I want to see from Sean McVay as well. Because I'm pretty sure this is a very important game for Sean McVay. He won Coach of the Year last season. He has the Offensive Player of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year. He's feeling himself. He feels good. Everybody wants the next Sean McVay, but you have to win important games, and you have to win the games you're supposed to be winning. Do I respect the Cowboys? Of course I do. Do I like Dak Prescott? I think he's decent. Do I like Zeke Elliott? Yes, I think he's a great running back. Do I think the Cowboys have a great defense? Yes, I do. I think they have a really good defense that matches well against the Rams. But do I think the Rams can win? Yes, because we have to not beat ourselves. We have to make sure that we play error-free football and we give everyone the protection. Like Jared Goff needs his protection. Then we need to have the offensive line block fairly well for Todd Gurley. But I think we can do it. I honestly do feel like the Rams can come in this game and win maybe 33-27. in LA, and I think they can do a good job of doing so. So hopefully you guys go to that game. I will be at that game, and I will make a video showing like the atmosphere and showing all the fans, Cowboys fans as well, getting pictures and putting that on video and also on my Twitter. So if you guys haven't already followed me, Clash of the Horns on Twitter. It's Ram Fam Podcaster. I used to have a podcast, but not no longer. But it's Ram Fam Podcaster on Twitter. Make sure you guys follow me there. And also, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a share, leave a comment. And tell me how you think this game is going to go. And give me the score prediction. Every time I make a video, I hardly see any score predictions. Give me a score prediction. My score prediction is 33-27 Rams win in LA. And we'll be advancing in the NFC Championship game, possibly against the Saints, which I called it. Last time we played the Saints, I told them we'd be playing the NFC Championship game in LA. So we'll see what happens. But I do feel fairly confident. But we have to do two things. Stop the run. Make Dak Prescott beat you. Stop the run. Stop the run. Stop the run. And second of all, Jared Goff, don't make mistakes. That's it. If we can do that, I think we can get enough field goals so we can make things happen on defense. Maybe we can get a couple of turnovers. And I think we can win this game. The only stat that matters now is getting the W, getting the win, and advancing to the next step. So until next time, you guys, go Rams, horns up. I'm so happy. I will be at that game. Hopefully you guys are at the game too. Until next time, go Rams.
He's grounded outside quickly. 3rd and 3. Ball is on the ground. Picked up by the Rams. Carried into the end zone. I believe he's down. That's Dante Fowler of all people. Play.
And off the edge, and you see the good move. And you can't step up in the pocket because of these great D tackles that the Rams have. And this is why they went and got Fowler to provide pressure off the edge, and the quarterback has to go backwards right there. You see that?
Ever since he got here to the Rams last year, he had a great rookie season, and he's having himself a well ball game tonight. First down, LA going for the whole thing. Cooks. Touchdown, LA. Brandon Cooks. Have a night, Jared Goff.